I've just read a very interesting judgment emanating out of the South Gauteng division of the High Court in Johannesburg, whereby a mother had brought an application requesting the court to declare the father of the deceased child as being unworthy to inherit. What had happened in this situation is that the father had left the mother of the child when the child was a very young age, I think at the age of 6 months. He disappeared from the scene, didn't make any contribution in terms of bringing the child up or paying any maintenance. He only showed up and made a few maintenance payment, being compelled by the maintenance court when the child was still young. To the point whereby I think for a period of 29 years, he was really effectively not in the picture as far as the child was concerned. So the child grows up, he's employed and he makes a living for himself, and he, increases his estate. At the time the child passes away due to COVID, the child has a net estate of approximately 700 odd thousand, which in terms of the interstate succession law, because the child died without any descendants, he didn't have any children, didn't have any siblings who would have been the next in line after the children to inherit in terms of interstate succession law. So there were only the two parents who would then, in terms of law, be entitled to inherit. But as a result of the father effectively deserting the child from the time when he was very small and being out of the picture for 29 years, the mother brings an application based on the authority in common law. There is a Latin maxim called indignus, which means unworthy. The Afrikaans version of it is die bloedige hand erft niet, which means that the bloody hand must not inherit. So basically she was saying that because he was out of the picture, it would be against public policy or the standards or the morals of society for the child, or rather for the father, to inherit. So she brings the application, and indeed the court found that the father was unworthy to inherit. So it often happens, and we've seen this, where the father, in most cases, that's the parent who falls out the picture. The mother is pregnant, the child is young, and the father simply just disappears, only to rock up when the child has passed on and he's in line to inherit in terms of the interstate succession laws. So it's an unfortunate situation, but there is a recourse if we're thinking about issues of fairness and issues of equity. There is a recourse where one can bring an application in those circumstances to declare the parent who would, in terms of the law, be entitled to inherit. But in these circumstances, where a case can be made out for unworthiness, as in these facts that I've just relayed to you, the court can, on consideration, then grant that the parent is unworthy to inherit and therefore disinherit them.